Good evening, everyone. It is truly an honor to be here today and sharing an experience that completely changed my understanding of communication, responsibility, and cultural identity. 3 months ago, I had the privilege of addressing the audience at the opening ceremony of the Lima International Book Fair, one of the most important cultural events in Peru. Writers, journalists, teachers, university students, and artists from different regions of the country attended the event. I had been invited to deliver a speech about the importance of preserving Peruvian traditions in modern society. My intention was to pay tribute to the communities and storytellers who continue protecting our cultural heritage through literature, oral traditions, and art. At first, I feel extremely prepared. I had spent weeks organizing my ideas, practicing my pronunciation, and memorizing key section of the speech. However, things did not go as planned. The moment I walked onto the stage and saw hundreds of people staring at me, I immediately became nervous and my mind went blank. Looking back now, I realize there are many things I should have done differently. First of all, I should have practiced speaking more naturally instead of relying so heavily on memorization. Had I known how much pressure I would feel in front of such a large audience, I would not rehearse under more realistic conditions. If only I had prepared printed notes or backup materials, I probably would have remained calm. Instead, I panic and rush through several important ideas. I also regret making a few throwaway remarks about younger generations and social media culture. I thought these comments would sound humorous, but some audience members clearly seemed uncomfortable. After the ceremony ended, one of the organizers explained that my speech had a strong ideas, but lacked emotional connection. Hearing that criticism was difficult, but honestly, it was necessary. It's high time I learned that public speaking is not simple something intelligent or professional. A speaker must also understand the emotion of the audience and create a genuine connection with people. Another mistake I made was failing to go into detail when discussing indigenous communities and their contribution to Peruvian culture. Even though the experience was stressful, taught me something valuable. Failure can become an opportunity for growth if we are willing to reflect on our actions. To summarize, I learned that communication is not only about words. It is also about empathy, preparation, and authenticity. After the event, I became deeply interested in the relationship between culture, memory, and tradition in Peru. That curiosity eventually led me to investigate one of the country's most important ancestral celebrations, the Inti Raymi. In Cusco, it is customary for thousands of people to gather every year to participate in this ancient festival dedicated to the sun god Inti. The celebration is considered one of the most important cultural representations of the Inca legacy. The festival is believed to symbolize gratitude, prosperity, and the spiritual connection between humanity and nature. According to historians, the ceremony thought to have originated during the Inca Empire several centuries ago. In fact, it is claimed that the festival was one of the most important religious celebrations. During the event, actors and dancers wearing traditional costumes recreate Inca ceremonies in front of thousands of spectators. Representation of the Inca emperor and the Andean priests are also performed, as they thank the sun for harvest and life itself. Many tourists visit Cusco every year because the festival is considered a unique cultural experience. Naturally, not everyone interprets the festival the same way. Some skeptics consider this practice to be merely tourist performance or ancient traditions without modern importance. Nevertheless, many Peruvians defend the Inti Raymi passionately. Personally, I found that perspective very meaningful and completely important to me. My experience at the fair and my investigation into Peruvian rituals changed my perspective on the culture and communication. At first, I believed traditions were simply historical practice preserved in books or museums. Now, I understand that culture is alive. It exists in language, our music, our celebrations, our stories, and our everyday actions. Although I regret many aspects of my presentation, I no longer consider the experience a total failure, and I still wish I had trust my abilities in that moment. However, the experience I learned that vulnerability can make a speaker more human and relatable. Today, I feel proud to belong to country whose traditions continue inspiring people despite modernization and social change. In conclusion, whether we are delivering a speech in front of hundreds of people or participating quietly in an ancestral ritual, our action reflects our values, beliefs, and identity. Thank you very much for listening. Goodbye!